Hi everybody. Welcome to the Acoustic Guitar Guide to Playing the Blues. My name's Orville Johnson. I'm a contributing writer to Acoustic Guitar Magazine and going to try to help you through some of this blues stuff. And in this chapter, we're going to take a look at slide guitar, talk a little bit about how you choose a slide, how it should fit your finger, some basics on how to get a good tone, a good sound, and then some ideas about playing in open tunings and such. And all of our other lessons you can find at acousticguitar.com. So take a look over there when you're surfing. This is let's talk a little bit about the slide. I like to wear the slide on my little finger. You'll find that people use all the different fingers, third finger. Bonnie Raitt most famously plays with the slide on her middle finger, but I like it on my pinky finger because then I can still play chords with it. If I'm playing slide in standard tuning, which is what we're going to start with here, I can still play all these chords and then mix in some slide playing. So I recommend putting it on your little finger, and I like it to fit tight enough so it doesn't fall off your finger when you turn it upside down like that. And then I don't like it to be longer than the tip of your finger, because one thing I'll be describing in here is how I like to be playing with the tip of the slide rather than putting the slide across all the strings when I'm playing single notes. I use the tip of the slide over here to play on the string that I want the note to be played on. So we'll get into that a little bit. So to start with, I want to show you a scale that we can use for our example purposes here to start thinking about getting a good tone and how we make good contact with the slide and the string. So the scale that we're going to use to start with is just a major scale on your first string. So the frets we're talking about are, so those are the notes we're going to use. Now, as you play those notes with your slide, I've got a couple different ways, 3 ways actually, that I'd like you to play this scale. And one of them is playing it with no slides, so that we're just playing the clear, in-tune note. Okay, so in example 1, we're going to take a look at that major scale and play it with no slides to begin with, because the idea of that is to get you playing in tune right off the bat, because that's something as a slide guitarist you'll want to always remember, that you really need to play in tune. There's nothing really that sounds worse than out of tune slide playing. So we're going to try to combat that right off the bat here. So in example 1, we're going to play that major scale and not use any slides, just play the notes in tune. And one other thing, the way I'd like you to stop the notes, I'd like you to pick the note with your finger and then bring that same finger back on the string to stop the note. There's a name for that. That's called pick blocking. You're blocking the string with the finger that you picked it with. So that's going to sound like this. This is how example 1 should sound. Okay, and then in the next example, we'd like to play that same scale, this time with slides. So let me show you how that should sound. So you notice when I did that, I didn't slide at the exact same moment that I picked. So the action that you're doing there is basically pick, slide, and then stop. So here's a couple of those notes, and notice how I'm doing that. I put the bar on the strings, I pick, then I slide to the next note, then I stop it. So work on that. And then in the next example, we're playing that same scale, but we're using long slides and just going down the scale. So this is how that will sound. So you notice what I was doing there was I was picking the string open and then kind of putting the slide on it at about the first fret and then sliding up to the highest note that I was heading for. And the reason that I'd like you to practice that a little bit is because a lot of people, when they start playing slide guitar, get a little shy about making a big move. They kind of want to make all of their moves kind of go from here to about there. And they're kind of afraid to make a big move, afraid because they might end up in a place that's out of tune. Well, that's a legitimate fear. But if you practice a scale like this, with the long slides and making sure that you go exactly to the note that you're trying to get to. At first, it's going to sound like this. You're going to miss it. But if you just practice a little bit, you'll be able to go directly to the note. So that helps your ear learn how to, hear the notes in tune and helps your slide technique. So work on those examples. And then to sort of expand your knowledge, because of course a lot of this slide playing that we're going to do is going to be in a blues context, we're not always going to be using a major scale. So let's change the scale that we use on the first string. Let's flat the third note. So instead of this, we're going to play this. And then let's flat the seventh note so that instead of this, we're playing this. We're going to leave the other notes the same, so it's going to the scale's going to sound like this. So we'll do all of those same exercises. Here's that scale played with no slides. Then with slides. And then going down the scale with the long slides.